I know what other men do for their women, and these women know, and they beg. If it was another woman, she would have been saying, "Oh, his name. Why are you leaving? Please don't leave." So expecting me to do that, a whole me. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to the series of Healing Out Loud, where I basically share my story on why I was gone, why I'm back, and what comes next. If you're new here, my name is Pamela Zanele, aka Zen Pam, and welcome to the family. And I hope you stay with us because I feel this series especially is going to help someone out there who's feeling stuck, who's feeling like their situation is hopeless and that there's nothing they can do. Uh, on today's episode, though, I feel we will be touching on a lot of key moments that really helped me move along and move on and sort of make that final decision to say, okay, this is it for me. And yeah, so let's get started. Grab a little drink. I'm not having wine today. It's a Sunday morning and I just came back from vacation. So grab your drink, whatever you're drinking at the time of day you're catching this. And yeah, let's get into it. So I just want to put a few disclaimers out there once again because I feel I need to clarify certain things before moving on to the next parts. The first one being I'm not a victim, okay? I don't want to be looked at as a victim because part of my healing journey has also been doing a lot of inner work, looking into myself where I could have gone wrong. That's why I go to therapy and that's why I do inner work because it's not really a one-sided thing. I don't want to come on here and say, oh, I was completely innocent, I was completely fine. I wasn't. So don't look at me as a victim, but look at me as someone who stepped out of the situation that no longer served her. Okay. Second of all, this video is not about revenge. It's not me seeking any drama. It's not me seeking anyone's attention. Um, I think I may or may not have mentioned in my last video that we are quite cordial with my ex-husband. He is aware of the videos that I'm making, and the reason why he doesn't fight me on this is because he's also going through therapy and he recognizes some of the things that he put me through. Um, we've also spoken. He told me where he felt I was coming short, and that's it. We still decided it's not going to work. We just need to raise our beautiful daughter together in perfect peace and harmony in separate households. And that is the disclaimer that I want to share. So like I'm really not trying to expose anyone. I'm just sharing my personal experience, and different people have different experiences. You cannot compare me because there's someone who actually called and said, but when you come out with this, what if he takes your kids? You know what happened to this one? They took their kids and all of that, and now they got deported. And no, so it's not the case with me. Even if he tried, because he did, even if he tried, he can't do that. He does not have the power to do that to me. The reason why I'm coming out with this on social media is because I'm using the very thing, the very channel, the very platform that he tried with everything in him to destroy. And that is why I'm doing it here. Okay. Just one more thing. We have a child in the household. I'm sitting in the kitchen, a very common area, so she might pop in and out from time to time, and you might hear funny little noises in the background. Yeah, I have a child, and that's part of it, right? So that's it. Hi, bye. So that's part of it. Something that we need to kind of get used to because I'm a mom, you know. And yeah, so let's get cracking. Without further ado, let's get started on what happened from the 2nd of January 2025 up until, let's say, now. On the 25th of January, as I mentioned in my last video, he said he's leaving, and I basically said, okay. And that is where the escalation started. Prior to this happening, I really thought I was more scared of breaking the news because he's someone who gets very loud. He can overpower you with words and his voice, and just like he's got a powerful voice. If you've heard his voice before, you know what I'm talking about. And I'm so sweaty. I'm a little innocent. I'm kidding. Again, I'm not a victim, okay? And you'll understand why as we move forward. And when he said that, it's not that I wasn't scared or that I had a plan or things were already in motion. I was not at my best, okay? My confidence was down there. I was still going through therapy because of what had happened at my previous place of employment. It was pretty intense, and I was looking for work at that time. So I was still unemployed, but looking. And the reason why I also wanted the time to plan my exit was because I wanted to make sure that I'm fine, especially as a mother, especially as the woman that in that moment I was more vulnerable because of my mental health and because of my financial situation. Not that it was bad, because I was still earning money. I still am. It was because I was earning a lot less than what I did previously at my job, and I had gotten used to a certain lifestyle. I had gotten used to having a husband around, like, who could take care of things, like there's certain things that I didn't have to worry about. So those are the things that I still needed to process, to say, okay, because I was still looking, I was still watching, okay, this is what gets done, this is what needs to get paid for, this is how much I contribute, because I was contributing to the household, and how would I manage on my own and with a child, obviously. So those are the things that I was still working out. So when he says something like that, it's like someone cutting the wings, flipping off your wings just as you're about to take off, So in me saying, okay, in that moment, I was like, do I go into SOS mode where I buy us a little bit more time and do the smooth talking? Hey, can we talk about this? Please don't be too hasty with decisions and all of that, like I would. Or do I take this as a blessing in disguise, as a sign from God that, listen, it's time out. No more trying to buy time, because it's going to take another 3 years for you to really step out of your comfort zone, because that's the reality of it. I was in my comfort zone, and now making that decision to say, okay, it's time to get uncomfortable. It's going to get very uncomfortable. It's going to get very messy, but I'm prepared for it. So that's what happened in like a split second after me saying, okay. And I remember he was sitting right in front of me. We were sitting in this very kitchen. He was sitting right in front of me. And when I said, okay, and went on about my life, he was dumbstruck, okay? Because this is a realization I made much later. He didn't have a plan. He wasn't expecting for things to actually, he wasn't expecting for me to actually say, okay, because first of all, he knew my situation. He knows me. He knows the kind of person I am. And in me saying, okay, to him came as a shock. And that is why he straight away turned to accusations, verbal abuse, like really just trying to reduce me to every bit of nothing that there is out there, because he said the most crazy things things that I never imagined someone I once loved, have a child with, lived with, had some of the most amazing moments with, could say that to me, because he literally accused me of, the word rhymes with constitution. And that is when something told me, start recording all these interactions, keep quiet and start recording. Because, and this is why, this is why I keep saying I'm not a victim. Had it been 2 years before, I would have gotten up and stripped him to nothing with my words as well, because I can't do that. But I chose to keep quiet, to record everything instead. So basically what he said after saying, okay, he's like, yeah, you probably found someone who's sponsoring your lifestyle. Yeah, I know you always have some trick up your sleeve. Yeah, so what is it? Who is he? And all of that, you know? Yeah, I know this Instagram lifestyle, because he was always accusing me of wanting this Instagram lifestyle. And it's like, dude, if I wanted that lifestyle, I would have it. And I always told him, I was like, if I wanted that lifestyle, I would have it. And that's what I keep telling everyone, that, you know, what you see now, what you saw in the past 5-6 years is really, it was on my own coin. He was not sponsoring it. It was on my coin. I worked for the money that I had to be able to buy myself the things that I wanted to get for myself, even some of the vacations, because he would, for example, if he said, let's go on vacation, I would say, this is where I want to go. And it would be slightly, you know, more expensive than what he had budgeted for. And I would chip in to make it the holiday that I wanted to be for myself, you know. So him saying things like that was like, if I wanted that lifestyle, I wouldn't have married you. And that's the the truth of it all. So, you know, sometimes I would throw in words here and there to say, listen, don't think that I was relying on you to have that. Like, I literally had, anyway. So, so he started accusing me of constitution and cheating, and also saying I didn't care. So that's when the accusations came, where he said, yeah, I'm gonna go to the authorities and get you deported without your child. You're gonna lose your child, you're gonna get deported back to South Africa, and I'm gonna tell immigration that this marriage is a sham. And like, so he was trying so hard to destroy me. And I think that's what hurt the most. This was the most painful thing to process, like in my mind, like how did it come from? Because we had a lovely December. We were still fine, unless he was pretending. But like, you know, it was just so hard to process. Like, how did he turn from that to this now? Like, the switch was so quick. And you know, when he started saying such things like, I'm gonna say that marriage is a sham and all of that, obviously I get scared, because I've never had to look these things up. I didn't think it would come to that, where I have to worry about my residency status. So it got a bit scary. And I think that is when the bulk of my stress levels, when I almost had a stroke. That's where this is where it began, because it's like literally my world is falling apart. And when he says that, remember, I'm thinking, if I have to go to South Africa, it's fine. It's okay. Like, it happens, right? I don't have to stay here. But it's ideal, because I would rather raise a child here than in South Africa. That is my personal preference. But if it means that I have to go back to South Africa with her, then so be it. It's not like it's going to be like super bad. It's not a punishment. Sending someone back to South Africa is not a punishment. That's what I was talking about in the previous video as well. Like, you're not sending me to, you know, I don't want to offend anyone, but you get what I'm trying to say. So The only issue I had was him saying, I'm keeping the child. And it's like, when it comes to such things, you don't mess with me. So I snapped out of feeling, oh, woe is onto me, and switching on my, like, the thinking cap. I just turn on my thinking cap, think fast, and start researching. So I start doing my research. Okay, what can happen? What are the possibilities? What can happen to me if this continues like this? And can he really take my child away from me? That was my biggest concern, because I would rather suffer. Like, I would rather be on the streets. As long as I'm with my child, I'm good. I'll figure it out with her. Just as long as I have it by my side. You take my child away from me, you are literally ripping my soul away. And that is it. So in that moment, I knew that I had to really start expediting things, because first of all, I knew that I'm not going to try to work things out. I also knew that, hold on, friend is calling. Hey boo. Friend. Yeah, so I kind of knew that I had to start expediting things for myself and for my daughter. And I also had to start taking my safety seriously, because in him saying that he's leaving, it's not like he packed up and left. He still stayed here. And because it's January, so my birthday is in February, we had planned and paid for a birthday getaway. He immediately cancels it, loses money, and then books himself a vacation, like just him, on that very same week, my birthday week. And that was also just one of the things that made me think, like, why are you trying so hard to punish me? Like, you are doing everything you can. Because another thing he said was like, yeah, I think it's best if you just go back to South Africa, because you're going to have a miserable birthday. And he tried so hard to give me to make sure that my birthday is miserable, which it wasn't, because I've spent birthdays all by myself and I've been fine. I survived. I came out of it, So when he started doing those kinds of things, like taking away the little perks, the little pleasures, it was like, okay, I know it's this is done. This is too petty. I cannot be dealing with someone like this. I'm way above this. Maybe 5 years ago I would have been hurt by it, but for me it's just ridiculous. It shows zero signs of maturity, and you're trying to compete with a girl my age, at your age, and as a man. So that really so I was done. I was not trying to work things out. And then a few days down the line, so he's still living under this roof at the time, and it was hard. So some days he would come, be in a good mood, and we would have a normal conversation, and then out of nowhere he would just escalate. So I always knew every day, and every time I heard him walk through the door, my nervous system, I could feel the build up, like, here we freaking go. What is it going to be today? Every day came with something. Like, he would go from 0 to 100, like within minutes. I wish I could put those recordings here, because it was crazy. I remember making some of my friends listen to it, because I had to I had to make sure that I'm not going crazy. Like, is this happening? So I would send some of the recordings to my friends, and even my mom and my sisters, and it would be like, excuse me, what? Is this him? Even they couldn't believe him, because he was a completely different person around other people. And because he didn't really have a plan. So he would say things like, yeah, I'm gonna move out on this and this date, and then, yeah, I'll be out of your way. And then he would say things in between, like, yeah, I really love you. I wish we could work things out. Only if you can just beg Like he said it verbatim. Not only if you could just beg. But you don't care about anything. You don't care because you think you can just walk out there and find another man and no one's gonna love you the way I love you. Da 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 da. Yeah. Do you think anyone can handle someone like you? Look at you. Like some of the most degrading things. And still I would sit there quietly and he would just escalate. So this was a daily thing. And can you imagine when you're looking forward to your birthday because you're gonna be alone? That is how I felt. And he still had the audacity to send me a birthday message saying, yeah, it should be us here, we should be on our birthday vacation. Like, but you just canceled my birthday vacation to hurt me, and now you're talking about like you sitting somewhere at the beach, on the beach, while I'm freezing in the snow here, and you're talking about we should be together. And that is the thing that really got me the most, because in all of this he thought he was a victim. Till this day he thinks he's a victim. In all of this he thought he was a victim, that all I needed to do is ask him why he's leaving, because it was like he was treating it like a treasured thing, like, why are you leaving? Okay, let me open the box and this is why I'm leaving, and this is why you need to apologize. These are all the things that are bad about you. These are all the things that you need to fix, and as long as you can fix this and apologize to me and get down on your knees and beg me, then everything will be fine. Everything's going to be okay. That is what he expected. And he literally, I wish I had a video recording of when he was legit saying it like that, because he was like, yeah, other women, because they know what they got in their men, they know what their men bring for them. Well, I'm guessing he's talking about tables. I know what other men do for their women, and these women know, and they beg. If it was another woman, she would have been saying, oh, his name, why are you leaving? Please don't leave. So he expected me to do that. A whole me. A whole me. Me. And in that moment, it just clicked. You have allowed yourself to be treated this way. You have allowed yourself to be talked to this way. The reason why this person feels comfortable enough to expect you to beg is because you've allowed him to think that little of you. This was a conversation I was having with myself. There was a point where absolutely nobody could make me feel like that about myself. I started to look at myself, and indeed, because these trending videos that are going on, like these women showing how they looked when they were in relationships versus now that they're out of those relationships. That was me. I can relate 100%, because it not only suck the confidence and the self-assuredness and the self-love that you have, they also physically suck it out. You will start looking like Shrek, like Fiona. And I looked at myself in the mirror and said, wow, I did this to myself. And that's why I keep saying I'm not a victim. I did it to myself, and that's why I need to do the healing. Not healing from him, not only healing from the relationship, but also healing from the thing that made me diminish myself to that. Allow someone to flatten me to the ground like that. And I know where I went wrong. Where I went wrong is where I started to make him think that he can treat me the way he did. And soon after that, this was a few weeks, days felt like years, mind you. So this was a few days in, and so I make myself look pretty. I dress up, make myself look pretty, because I hadn't done it in a while, you know. So I dress up, make myself look pretty. That as the situation was, but I started to realize something, and that's when. So as I'm walking, I get to the main road. I'm going to the train station. For the first time ever, and you're not going to believe this, for the first time ever, I start seeing how people are noticing me. I'm like, okay, it's either one of two things. I either never saw it because I was probably preoccupied doing other things, or a veil has lifted. That shadow, that darkness that I was trapped in, it has lifted, and now I'm being seen. And because I also started going to gym, when I would go to gym, the same gym that I had been going to, people were looking at me in a nice way. And I was like, okay, she's coming back. She's coming back. So when I went to my gynae appointment, outside after the appointment, I'm walking, I bump into someone. And that person, polite, because this is Switzerland. Most Swiss men are very, polite. They don't just come at you or hit on you. No, they're very polite and kind. Hi, how are you? You look nice. Because this time I've taken the rings off. How are you? Can I take you out for lunch? Can I have your number? This and this and this and that. I'm like, okay, sure. Was a decent looking person. And because I had also decided I need to start making strong connections. I need to start having myself connected, because number one, I need a community. Number two, I need a job. So I gave him my number, and then he called me, I think the following day or the same day. Then I told him my situation, because I'm not going to, let someone blindly fall for me, or whatever the case may be. I said, oh, listen, I'm going through this. Then I was like, oh no, I'm sorry about that, but listen, take it easy. We can just be friends. Let's do lunch. We do lunch. I tell him, I give him, just a bit of information about what's going on. And he's like, girl, you need a good lawyer. You need a good lawyer. And that's what he did. He got me a lawyer, a divorce lawyer, a very good one. And that lawyer also suggested, because remember, he was threatening my immigration status. He also got me like an immigration lawyer. So now, on top of the research that I had been doing, like now it was backed by lawyers, because remember, he was threatening about the divorce. Like if we get divorced, if we get separated, I'm going to get my residency revoked and all of that. So I must think about it. I must just apologize and beg him and ask him why he's leaving, so we don't have to go through the process. And once I had a consultation with the lawyer and the immigration lawyer, I had my facts. And it gave me so much power, because I was able to tell him no. And in that moment, when he realized that, okay, she is done, that's when he started panicking. And that's when I realized that he didn't even have a plan. There was no apartment that he had gotten. There was no plan. He had no plan. After I told him that, no, you need to pack up and leave, he didn't know where to go. He didn't know where to go. I had to be the one now saying, hey, listen, when are you out of here? Because now I had my facts straight. So soon after that, he finally found a place, and he still didn't want to move out. He was like, yeah, but we first have to work out a separation agreement. And the separation agreement, we both need to make sure. So I don't know if you have a lawyer, because he was trying to fish, remember? And I didn't tell him that I have a lawyer. I was not showing all my cards. And that's how I've always been. When you think I'm giving you all the information, and you think you have me all figured out, there's still 2-3 cards that are laying low. And that's how I've always, tried to manage situations. So even with him, there were certain things that I wouldn't fully disclose, especially like, okay, savings, some investments that I was making. He thought I was just chowing down the money that I had, the money that I was earning, but I was actually saving it up because I knew that a rainy day would come, and that is what kept me afloat. So this person got me a lawyer, and they wanted nothing in return. They straight out said, listen, there's a reason why we met. He's also kind of spiritual as well. There's a reason why we met. I just want you to be okay. And when a time comes where you feel you're ready to, mingle and be out there, I'm here. And that's it. Respectful. That is really what made me start believing that God is in this, because this is someone sent by God, and it's just God using his people to help me in the situation. And that is how I knew that God is in it. Because he sends this person's like, hey, can I help you? Do you need anything? Let's get you a lawyer. And that is how I really got him to truly move out, because it was not happening. He didn't have a plan. He didn't expect for things to escalate to this point where I'm like, yeah, go. So in my keeping quiet, remember, this abuse is still happening, this verbal spewing the most insane things. Like, it got to a point where I was like, hey, are you okay up here? Like, it cannot be. It was crazy. It was unbelievably crazy. You think you know someone until they lose their marbles. I was like, you really need help. That's what I was telling. I was like, you truly need help, because what you're doing is not normal. You are literally taking things from here all the way up there all by yourself, and I'm just quiet. Like, what's your deal? I told you I don't want to engage, and you're still going on and on and on. So he was frustrated at the fact that I'm not reacting. So my silence was frustrating. Me saying anything was frustrating. But it gets to a point where I think we all get tired. We all reach our, what is that, our limit, our breaking point. Because after that, I said, enough. Enough of your crap. So I crashed out on him too. I crashed out, and when I crash out, I crash out. So I was like, I don't care. At this point, I don't care, but if it buys me my peace, because I've tried silence, I've tried staying calm, it's not working with this person. With certain people, it works. With him, it doesn't. The day I crashed out, he expedited his move out date. He went to stay somewhere until his apartment was ready, and I got my freedom. And the day he stepped out, that is when we had finally reached an agreement on the separation agreement, the terms, okay, in terms of custody, in terms of payments instead of alimony, in the case of alimony and child maintenance, we sorted that out. And because I don't want to make this video too long, I'm going to record a separate video on how divorce and separation works in Switzerland. So right now we are separated. It's been filed. It's official as of the 1st of March. So 1st of March 2025, officially separated, living apart. He's got his own place. I've got my own place. We are co-parenting, and yeah. But what I've been doing so far, what's been happening so far, because I know I've gotten a few questions. Do you have a job? Financially, how are things and all of that? Yes, I do have a job. I'm employed. Thank God. Finances, still trying to figure it out. It's a lot. In the sense that there's certain things that I have to pay for now that I never, that I didn't really have to pay for, like phone bills and the internet and taxes and stuff like that. And I'm managing because I have built a community of friends now, even of friends now, even it's been a breath of fresh air, because I have a friend, she's also South African, she's amazing. She's been here longer, and she has really been helping me navigate through this whole process. She's also divorced with kids, and I see how she's flourishing. I see how she supports me in so many ways, that I realize that there's definitely better coming. So it's it's really starting to look good. It's really starting to look like I made the right decision. Not that it never did. Like, in so many instances, I've realized that this was the right decision, because I feel lighter, I feel freer, I can go out, I can just be. Uh, there's a lot of things that he would say are wrong about me that I'm learning. I'm absolutely fine. So I'm just embracing myself, learning to, navigate through. There's still certain insecurities I have because of how I was made to feel for such a long time, that I'm I'm learning. I'm learning to embrace myself as I am. Certain quirks and certain things that I do, a certain way of doing things that were frowned upon, but are actually appreciated by many other people. So things like that. And what else? Yeah, so that's what's currently happening on his end. He is still trying to get us back together, but I'm not interested. I've pretty much met people, I've connected with people that I feel are at my level of understanding. And I'm not saying that to talk down on him, but there's just a certain mindset that I grew to having, because I'm constantly improving myself, that he doesn't. And there's a lot more other people who share the same mindset. And I'm like, when you talk to people and you're like, oh wow, oh, you think like that too, oh great. It's great to connect with people in that way, that don't make you feel like you are too much, or you are too ambitious, or you are too much into the woo-woo stuff and all of that. So it's just so refreshing. It feels good. So when you're out of that, I feel like a lot of men make that mistake. They think that letting us go, because you think, yeah, let her suffer on her own a bit. Let me let her feel the pain. You're actually you're actually letting the bird out of a cage, and that bird is seeing how beautiful the world out there is. And there is no way that bird is flying back into that cage, no matter how hungry she gets out there. But the experiences that come with it, the freedom that comes with it, with flying, just spreading your wings and flying, and allowing yourself to be, letting your voice be heard, and just being completely free. I absolutely cannot allow myself to be with him again. And no, not in a bad way, because we still pretty chill with each other. Fights here and there. Like, when it comes to personal stuff, we still don't get along. But with other things, like surface level things, we are good. We straight. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm healing. I'm doing a lot of inner work, a lot of shadow work. Shadow work, I feel, is very important. If you are going to do inner work on yourself on the inside, you also have to embrace, approach, and acknowledge that you also have a dark side. And that's what I've been doing. And that's why I'm out here, I'm putting videos like this out there, because it's like, I'm ready. I'm open. Like, people can come and discriminate and judge and scrutinize and do all sorts of things. It's because I know who I am. I know my power, and I know, it's me recognizing my power again. It's me using the very thing, even as he was verbally abusing me, calling me all sorts of things, I could tell that the main thing that bothered him about me was my platform, was my social media presence. And I'm using that very same tool that he tried so hard to destroy as a way to claim back my power. And so if any of this resonated with you, please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, and I'll catch you on the next episode. I feel we are pretty much done talking about people. And now we move on to the next chapter where we focus on healing, the methods that I've been using, and what has been helping me stay afloat. And I look forward to having those chats with you. I look forward to showing you the not so great parts and also the amazing parts of the healing journey, doing the inner work. And I hope this helps someone out there, even if it's one person. That would make me extremely happy. So share this with your friends, share this with your your sisters, your brothers, your aunts. You know, you never know who needs to hear this. I appreciate you all so much. Thank you for the continued support and the love. I truly appreciate it. I wouldn't I wouldn't have been able to record more videos if it hadn't been for your support. So thank you for your love. Thank you for your patience. And thank you so much for the beautiful words of support and encouragement. I love you so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.